Good afternoon, and good evening to some of you. Welcome to another episode of the Virtual Pinball Roundup. I'm Meatball Saucy. We have got a great show planned for you guys today. It has been kind of a soft week when it comes to releases. There hasn't been a ton, but it looks like we are getting stacked up for next week's Roundup already, so it's pretty exciting. Got a couple guys in the chat here. Hollywood Polo, Mark T is here. But really, we're kind of excited, guys, to share what has come out because we've got a couple really good tables. I'm also going to fill up a little bit of time. The intro there kind of was a little bit of a teaser, but I'm going to run you through my top 5 video game themed pinball tables. So I've got a full playlist, and that was the intro video for that playlist, and it's really kind of, hey, if it's got a video game theme, if it's based in video games, it's in that playlist, and we'll take you through my top 5 here. But as always, like I said, we're going to start off with what came out this week. So, Linda? So we start off with the first release last week. I believe it was either late Sunday, but it's showing currently on VP forums as a Monday release. But this is JP's Pokemon 4.0. For those of you that are interested, there is a 4.0.2 version available that has a few little bug fixes with it. But generally speaking, this table, and first off, let me apologize, guys. Some of the recordings that I was doing, for some reason, I guess my laptop was updating and I couldn't figure it out until I actually was done recording. But I struggled getting table footage and everything else, and so there's going to be a little bit of choppiness and some frame drops, and I apologize for that. But we'll try to get that corrected. And then, of course, when we look at one of the Pin Event 2 tables a little bit later today, you'll also notice that just generally has some frame skipping, but in general. So let's talk about Pokemon. Like I said, this is has been around for a long time. This is a table that a lot of people mod. But this update brought us the new VPX 7 physics from JP Solis. For those of you that don't know what that is JP's custom version of his VPX physics, and this is version 7. And so it's, it may not be NFOSI physics, but it has a lot of the same tweaks and things that are put in there. This script has got a lot of really cool updates, and like I said, they're just in general gameplay enhancements. So the script has got high score. There's some LUT additions to this. We've got DMD Flex DMD updates, so you can see that the scoreboard is a little bit clearer and clean. For those of you that are interested in the Pup Pack, it is available. However, this table is not natively coded for the Pup Pack. You have to update the coding for these releases with the triggers. So in order to get the actual triggers working, I did have to spend a little bit of time taking the Pup Pack version and copying and pasting in the Pup Pack triggers in order to get them to work for this table. But once you get it in, it plays really nicely. The Pup Pack is fluid and smooth. Obviously not as well as it's showing on screen here, but it really does enhance the overall gameplay, and having those sounds and effects to laugh at you when you fail is kind of one of those things that is there. Let's see, we had PhD Pigskin show up and join us. Thanks for joining us. Shampoo Swan is also here. Thanks for coming in, guys. Hopefully we'll get you some information about some tables that you haven't seen before. So how did I rate this particular table? Well, this one is going to get a happy meatball. It plays really well. It's a great table, and I enjoyed the update. Even though I had to do a little bit of work to get the pup hat to work, it definitely deserves it. So if we move all the way down to Thursday, which was the next table that released, we had a Back to the Future mod by Nitro Nimbus, and it did come with a pup pack update for Back to the Future. This has got all kinds of options and tables and upgrades, and I mean, this is just, in my opinion, the definitive Back to the Future table. The addition of the new 88 miles per hour skill shot that you got to hold down the plunger for, and you know, it's really it's phenomenal. And Hollywood asks, how would you compare this one to the Back to the Future trilogy that came out? Prior to this, that was the definitive. But you can see the additions that were made to the play field that are just top notch. All the way from the customizable hill valley signs on both sides of the area. You'll see here at some point I hit the clock tower, and so there is an option to turn on different functions and features, and I think Mark just kind of made the statement that you can have pup streaming onto the apron, so you can do that. It is very GPU intensive, but adding in the model for the DeLorean that moves back and forth and does a time jump back and forth. You know, this is a phenomenal job on this table, but having lightning strikes and the Biff's Casino upgrade is so good. You know, it's flashy, it's got flair, it plays really well. There's some subtleties that you probably can't see very well unless you're watching this on full screen, but you can change the DMC drop targets where you're setting up for the DeLorean multi-ball. Those have got little holograms that show different pictures and things like that on them. And then just the pup triggers. Like I said, this is already a pretty good pup pack to begin with. I do like the change to it. It just really, really, really is impressive. I very rarely jump onto Discord and say, hey, go check this table out. But this is one that, for me, as soon as I saw it and played it, I was like, wow, other people need to see this, because it is so good. It takes everything that's great about the Back to the Future trilogy table and kicks it up to a 10. You know, like I said, the skill shots and everything about this table just blew me away. Like I said, can't say enough good things. This is, again, by Nitro Nimbus. He gives credit to the original table author Cyberpez, Apophis, that helped with the sound. The alt sound is also included with this table, so you get better movie tracks playing as you're hearing it. And again, just I've said it before, top-notch visuals, top-notch sound, top-notch gameplay. That's all it takes, and this really is at the top tier of all of those categories, and I really, really highly recommend this table for anybody looking for a Back to the Future table to go check it out. And, you know, this is such a good table, I can't just give it a happy meatball. This is going to get a golden meatball. Now, the logo here, guys, is not fantastic, so any of you out in the community that are, you know, artists and can do graphic artists, I'd really love to see somebody to be able to do it. This is actually a really good question. Todd, do you like it better than Zen's table? Yes, Todd, I do. And the reason I like it better than the Zen table is because it takes all of the digital elements of the Zen table that they have that make that table great, and it incorporates it into the real table. And to me, that just brings it up to a whole new level for a VPX table. So yes, I do like it better than what is put out by Zen. But again, it kind of is always going to be a personal opinion, and that is mine. But I really do like this table and how well. All right. So now we're on to Chrono Trigger, and I know a lot of people have been playing this table recently. This released on Friday. Chug put this out. This is version 1.0, and it is a pretty impressive table. Now, the big thing here is we looked at Pokemon, right? So the Pokemon table is a great table, and this is effectively a reskin of that table. However, what Chug has done is instead of sticking with the physics package that JP Solis has released, the JP VPX7 physics, he's incorporated the Enfazi physics, he's used the Fleep sounds, he's got the LUT selectors, and all of the DOF links that make the VPW tables shine. And I'll be honest, Chrono Trigger is a really big IP for me. I loved playing this game. The specific things that make it really cool are the different characters that you level up. Instead of getting Pokemon, you get characters for your team, and you can level them up and have some really cool boss battles and things like that. So, I mean, I think he did a really good job with the extra little things that he's put in. But again, there's 3 different multi-ball modes, and apparently they can all stack. I've never been good enough to actually make that happen. He's got a secret boss that I also have not encountered yet, but that's kind of exciting and definitely gives me a reason to keep playing. He did a really good job with the artwork, incorporating the model at the top, which is just epic. The playfield artwork is very true to the video game. And of course the table sound, other than these particular callouts in between. Should I tell you the secret boss? Yeah, I mean, some point you can tell me, but let me give it a try. Let me see if I can find that out on my own. But yeah, I definitely appreciate all of the work that was done on this. And it plays really well. Like I said, you would expect it to play like Pokemon, but it doesn't. It actually plays better because it's got some of the higher end physics to it. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to get a happy meatball from me because, like I said, it fits the bill and everything is what I would expect from a good table release. Nice job, Chad. All right, next on our list. I really wanted this to be great, guys. I really did. I have seen the heavy metal table available. It's not one I had ever picked up. But with the changes to the DMD and table lighting and things like that, I thought I'd pick it up. And, you know, like Hollywood Polo, I also love this movie. This is such a great movie for its time. All of the, you know, animation and music just kicks butt. You know, and so I was really, really excited to give this a try. There was a couple things that are very off-putting. There's a lot of options. However, I'm really disappointed in Weishund and his snarkiness, I guess I would call it, in the options, to where he gives you an option and he spells out the option in the script, but he literally says, okay, but you shouldn't use this option if you're cool. It's like, really? Okay. So there was a little bit of off-putting in that, but quite honestly, the other side of it is the sound glitches, and this table does not reset. So if you're in the middle of playing and you have to quit, you're jumping back in the middle of a table or in the middle of a game, and it causes some weird audio glitches. The DMD, while updated and new, is very, very glitchy. You'll see here on some of these ball restarts, it kind of cuts to different scenes and cuts in and cuts out, and it's really it's off-putting from a visual standpoint. The music is great. I mean, like I said, it was a great movie. Heavy metal is greater than Heavy Metal 2000. I'm on that train. Yeah, you know, and you're right, Todd. It's funny you made that comment, because in the comment he's got, or in the options section, there is definitely a section to where, hey, if you are using slow ball speed or whatever, and you turn on his lightning crazy ball speed madness, it makes the table unplayable. But like I said, he tells you that, hey, you're not playing it the way it's supposed to be played, and blah blah blah. It was very, very off-putting, and I didn't really appreciate it. But anyways, this is Heavy Metal Roamet 1983 VPX 1.41, released by Wyson. And you know, like I said, I think it's an improvement over what I had seen videos of, because this is the first time I've ever installed it on my table. But sorry guys, it's just, as much as I really, really wanted to like this table, it's going to get an angry meatball, because it wasn't an enjoyable experience for me. So yeah, if you're going to skip on one that released this week, that's the one to skip on. So all right, and last of our new releases this week, is certainly a very, very solid release. This is the Led Zeppelin Pinball. It's 2.0. I did have the original versions that were released, because this is one of my favorite EM tables, and in fact the high score that's on there came from the original release, not this version. But this version adds a very realistic DMD, almost very similar to the actual pinball machine, and incorporates it into the gameplay. So you've got a really nice DMD pup pack that goes along with this, and I Dig Stuff did a really good job with this release, basically bringing everything together. It's got some updated physics. There's some user options you can play with a little bit in here, and again, you have the choice to not use the pup DMD if you don't like the pup stuff, but it's there. And so, like I said, it's one of those things that, from an EM standpoint, it plays really well. It's got all kinds of cool little bonuses and power-ups, and you see the little bonus wheel that spins around as you hit bumpers and drop targets and wheels and loops, and it does some really cool stuff. Let's see here. Mark, where is this found? I think that was with regards to the Heavy Metal. So Mark, Heavy Metal is found on VP forums. It is not one that is on VP Universe, so you have to head over to VP forums to find that one. But like I said, I think from a sound standpoint, the intro that plays is fantastic. The lighting is great. The models that are used on the table are very Led Zeppelin, and the soundtracks actually shift every time you play the table. So as you get through it, there's actually about 12 or 13 songs that can be played from the pup. You are only given the option of about 3 or 4 of them each restart, and then of course the two big ones that everybody always says, well, why aren't they there? It's because it's the intro and it's the close. So you have to lose the game if you want to hear Stairway to Heaven coming off of this particular table. But again, they did a really, really fantastic job incorporating what was prior to this just kind of MP3s playing in the background, but is now playing on the videos on the DMD, which I find to be extremely exciting, and having all those call-outs and all the rest of that fun stuff. The updated is pretty awesome. Like I said, Mark, it definitely is a really, really good table, and you know, people are going to say, well, but it's EM. Yeah, it's EM, but it plays really good, and now with the modern DMD, it makes it feel really, really modern, and I enjoy it. So no doubt about it, this is getting a happy meatball, guys. It's a fantastic table, and I highly suggest you check it out. So let's talk about a couple of the other releases that came out that I did not go with. We saw a Last Action Hero Balotito mod. I tried it out. I played back and forth. I didn't appreciate where Balotito was going with the mod. From a gameplay standpoint, it was fine. I prefer the original artwork, even though it's a little cartoony, and I don't know. You may like it, maybe something for you. It's just not something that I was excited about. So the Balotito Last Action Hero mod was a no install for me. He also did an update to the Jaws mod that we saw last week. He changed it or did a release that included the English audio, which was originally released with the French audio. There was some a way to do that in the text, or in the text of or chat of the description of the download. So I had already done this update, so there was no reason for me to go re-update this, because I had already reworked his original 1.2 release into the English version. So I passed on the update for Jaws this week, but like I said, it was one I had already manually done myself. And then there was a Star Trek The Next Generation 1.02 update. No, I passed on this one too. There's too much Star Trek The Next Generation modifications going on. It's tough to really say, hey, this one's right or the other. It's one that I think the VPW team is working on, and I think at this point I'm going to have to wait. Todd, I do enjoy a good number of EM tables, so might want to try that one someday. Yeah, it's a good one, man. I'd highly recommend it. And I agree. I was not a big fan of the Stern version of Led Zeppelin. I'm right there with you. But I love the way they've incorporated the DMD from that table into this EM design. So I really enjoyed it. All right, guys. So we're going to take a short little break here and get a word from our sponsor. For those of you that are going to pay attention to this, we might have something to give away at the end.
Let's see what's out there. Engage.
Lives and Times Records and Tapes proudly presents Sir Patrick Stewart's Cowboy Classics.
Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Oh, the streams are swollen. Keep them doggies rolling, rawhide. Through rain and wind and weather, hell bent for leather. Wishing my gal was by my side. Cut 'em out, ride 'em in, let 'em out, cut 'em out. Ride 'em in, rawhide.
Long known as England's premier cowboy singer, Sir Stewart now brings his music stateside in this amazing collection.
Let's vamoose where gals keep using those silks and satins and linen that shows, and you're all mine in buttons and bows.
Sometimes it takes an Englishman to teach us what's great about being an American.
Oh, give me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me.
This double album has the 27 smash singles that have made Patrick Stewart Britain's most beloved cowboy crooner.
Cowboy all wrapped in white linen, wrapped in white linen and cold as the clay. Yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-oh. Ghost riders in the sky.
This 2-volume set transports you back to a time when cattle roamed the open West and the cowboy was king.
Get along, little doggies, for you know Wyoming will be your new home.
With his Royal Shakespeare training, Sir Stewart can jump into character and paint a picture like no other.
I took the law and wore a star while he spread terror near and far. With lead and blood he gained such fame, all through the West they feared the name of Ringo.
But wait, That's not all. Act now and you'll also receive Songs for Lonesome Lovers, Cowboy Pat's glorious collection of timeless ballads. Songs like this interracial gem.
South of the border, down Mexico way.
And who could forget this race-mixing favorite?
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl.
Is that enough music for you? No way! Order in the next 15 minutes and we'll send you Duets Out West. Duets Out West teams Sir Patty up with the hottest women folk talent of the day. Stars such as Taylor Swift, Carrie Underwood, and Miss Lady Stewart herself, Sunny Ozell.
Hey, I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, and I go to town just to hear a band.
Do you know all the songs that the cowboys know about the big corral where the doggies go? Where'd you learn them all?
On the radio, yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay.
Do I hear sleigh bells jingling on those cows? You bet your sweet ass I do. Order in the next 3 minutes and we'll give you Christmas on the Range, Cowboy Pat's classic holiday record that becomes more cherished with each and every holiday season.
Ring and children singing, all is merry and bright. Hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
Have your credit card ready. Operators are standing by. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime chance to treasure the songs of the American West with England's most celebrated cowboy singer. Call now. Here's how. Call 1-877-828-0120 to order Patrick Stewart's Cowboy Classics on 2 records, 2 CDs, 2 cassettes, or 2 8-tracks. $29.99 plus shipping and handling when you use your credit card. Call now. Order online at peace2sings.com. That's peace2sings.com.
Engage.
Call now, guys. I think those 8-tracks are burning holes in people's pockets. I think they're going to be flying off the shelf. That's right. Okay, so I said, hey, pay attention to what's going on in there. Because right now, for those of you in the chat, the first person that can tell me what was unique about the first portion of the clip and the last section of the clip with regards to the bookends, not necessarily the commercial, but what happened at the end, at the beginning and the end of that little clip. First person that can type that here in chat will win a $10 Amazon gift card that will get sent out to you here at the end of the show. All right. And I'll be watching, so type fast. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on in the VPN Hub and what's going on this week with our tournaments. So all week long, we've got MCAP's Corner Arcade is doing a visual pinball tournament. We just finished up doing Gorgar and kicked off Twister this morning. And so that is going to run all week from Sunday to Sunday. So get your scores in and play Twister. The FX3 table of this week is currently Fallout, which is not one of my favorite tables, but I think that we're going to be doing the Doom table starting tomorrow, and MCAP will do that. So you can follow MCAP on Twitch TV, MCAP Corner Arcade. You can also join his Discord, links down in the description below for more information on this tournament. Every Monday over at Paladin's Arcade, there is an open FX3 challenge. This is a 2-hour long event. There are 2 tables that are played 1 hour each. During this tournament, you jump in. You don't have to be part of the stream to join. But there are great conversations in chat and some great giveaways that happen during these tournaments. So if you would like to join, head over to Twitch TV, Paladin Arcade. Give Paladin a follow and yeah, enjoy playing. We've also got Game Club Central over at twitchtv.gameclubcentral has got 3 large events every week. On Wednesday, we've got the Pinball FX3 tournament titled Drain Freeze, and this is the same format where we've got 2 tables, 1 hour long each, and again, great conversation and some giveaways that happen over on Game Club Central. Every Thursday, there is a 24-hour VPX challenge, and there is a great way to submit scores. So down in the link below, you've got a link to join the Game Club Central Twitch, as well as the VPC chat or Virtual Pinball Chat Discord. You will need to be a member of at least the Virtual Pinball Chat Discord to be able to submit your scores for the Thursday Throwdown. Saturday is also a 24-hour challenge that falls in line with the VPC tournament that's going on. So you can definitely, once you're a member of that, you can participate in the Saturday events as well. Again, head over to VPC or head over to Twitch TV and give Game Club Central a follow. All right. So let's talk about my number 5 favorite video game pinball table. And this week it is Legend of Zelda. And there's some significant reasons why this falls into one of my favorite video game tables. And it always ties into how I rate, in general, how I rate tables, right? Does this make me feel like I am in a Legend of Zelda, environment? The sounds are there, the gameplay is there, the objectives are there, the tooling is right for what this IP is and how it works. But you can hear, Epona choruses, you can hear the iconic NES version of the background theme music. Sound effects are from across the board, all of the different games. Super Nintendo, NES, that's all one of those things. So, let's see. Maybe I'll play Fallout on FX3. Okay, yeah. And Todd, if you don't want to do FX3, you can certainly hang out and join Doom next week as well. So that'll be available for you. But the objective here, as you can see, is to assault on the castle. And so the castle has got those 4 little triangles or 5 little triangles that you have to hit the drop targets while they're up to be able to light. Once you light them, you then have a single drop target in the center, and then you have to break down the gate to the castle. Once you have the gate to the castle broken down, you can start firing your shots up into the castle, and depending on the flipper and the side that it goes down, you've got the left side open, and you can hit the princess to rescue Zelda, or you hit the right side to go after, I believe, Ganondorf, or Ganon, however you want to say it for this. I think it's Ganondorf from the Super Nintendo, but I may be wrong on that, or N64. I may be wrong on that. But as you complete those, you actually will see that you get Triforce pieces. And as you get Triforce pieces, you get all 3 of them to unlock the final battle. And I won't spoil anything, but like I said, it's definitely one of those things where it ups the ante and the play field significantly, and you can score some really good teams. Never seen this. We're available. Honestly, guys, I did not research on any of these that may or may not be available anymore. If it's not something that you can find on VP Universe or VP Forums, reach out to me and I'll see if I can help find a copy for you somewhere. But like I said, it's definitely a really solid game, and that's my number 5 video game table. Moving up to number 4, Metal Slug. Again, falling into the same category of sound effects and, does it feel like the game, and the table layout and the design. And this has been actually used in quite a few video game tables from a layout standpoint. I do feel like this falls into the best usage of the layout for this particular IP. It has been a really solid overall kind of rule set that you play with that feels like it goes in line with Metal Slug and what you're doing in the Metal Slug game. So obviously the sound effects are all there, you know, your thank yous, your different weapons, your explosions, your tank shots, all of that is pulled directly from the video game. And it is a very solid gaming experience. So, you know, from a video game standpoint, and does this represent a video game that it's basing its IP off of? Yes, it does a fantastic job, and it is a really fun table to play. So I highly recommend it. Okay, so no guesses still on what makes those two clips unique. All right, no Star Trek nerds in the audience today, I guess. All right. So let's talk about my number 3 table. And this one was really tough because I really went back and forth on a Mario table and which one I wanted to be highlighted and which one really falls into this category. And we'll talk about honorable mentions in the other one that was really, really close. But I decided here on the Super Mario Brothers, this table is a Gottlieb table. I believe P-Dubs actually has a physical version of this, I believe this is the one he's got. But either way, this is a really, really well-designed table. The pup pack that goes along with it, the physics updates that happened with this several months ago, the lighting changes, everything about this is a really, really good table. It makes you feel like you're really going after you know, the different levels and worlds in Mario, and by knocking down and hitting the tower shot, you really get a good feeling for how that you're playing a game of Super Mario, and you get the, you know, tube, tunnel, whatever you call it, pipe sounds, and just like this, and you get power-ups, and you know, you actually turn super. And this is an epic fail, guys, because while I actually have the I'm super and I'm invincible at some point in this video, I actually found a way to drain even with the blocker up and in the way. It was pretty like, oh yeah, that's great, that's awesome, good job for me. But like I said, taking down the different objectives and getting through all the levels in this table is really fun. I have beat it once, but it like I said, it's a really, really good table, and highly recommend this if you're a Mario fan. All right, so let's talk about my number 2. And just so happens, again, like I said earlier in the video, future pinball and these Pin Event version 2s do not play well with how I'm recording things across NDI tools. I'd really like to clean this up and figure this out and get a better method. I've tried overhead cam and that worked a little bit better, but it really is difficult. But this table is phenomenal. I mean, it really is. You know, we talk about Back to the Future and all of the extra little models that are added and extra things that make virtual pinball so awesome. And this takes a great table design. He's got a great pup pack along with it. It's got all kinds of extra. It's got all kinds of extra little, you know, images and targets that pop up on the plane or on the playing field during the different game modes. It's got the sound, obviously, is epic. The design of the table is great, but you put in the actual gameplay design that he's got to where you're locking, and you've got to hit the upper rings and the bottom rings in order to enable the locks. The modes of capturing and banking rings to keep your score and your bonuses up. The multipliers that are all there that can be added from the launch. This is just, top to bottom, it is a really good pinball table, but it's also a video game, and it feels like a Sonic video game. You know, if I had never played a Sonic video game or had never heard of Sonic, I would think this is just, it deserves to be a video game just from this in and of itself. And like I said, all the incorporation of all of the different things and iterations of Sonic really makes this an epic table. And I actually, like I said, this gameplay video is about 15 minutes long. This was, and well, like I said, you can't see it very well because the frame drops and everything else. But this was my most epic run on this table. I think I scored a little over 9 million on this. I got the multi-ball, got the 6-time or 5 times multiplier several times, got several extra balls. I just have a really, really good time playing this. And other than my number one video game table that we're going to talk about here in a minute, this is one I play a lot, and I mean a lot. There is one that I play a little bit more, A, because it's higher in the alphabet, but B, because it's also of what it is. But like I said, this is one I definitely play a lot. If you have trouble getting Future Pinball, this is not the easiest table in the world to get going. But yeah, it's really worth getting it set up just for these version 2s, and we're also getting ready to have the new PhysX updates for these tables. So not only are they, already really good, they're going to play even better here coming up very soon. So before we move on to number one, I did want to talk about the other tables that I was contemplating for this list. Diablo is a great table, plays really well. Crash Bandicoot is another one that I considered and played, and it's also falls into the category of great sound and design. The Witcher is a very complicated and complex table, but it's also very good. Street Fighter 2 was in there. It's not as exciting, but it was certainly part of the conversation I was having with myself about what are my top 5. Unreal Tournament was also one that we looked at, and then the one that was competing up against Super Mario Brothers was Super Mario Galaxy, which is also a really great Mario table, and I definitely think any one of these 5 that we're talking about, or any of those 6 that I just described, are all really great tables and worth consideration from everyone. Yeah, Witcher is really nice, and yeah, Future Pinball can be difficult, but like I said, it's one of those things that you really got to start with a clean build and go through Terry's guide step by step. It may be very monotonous, but don't skip over things. If you skip over a section, you will find yourself struggling and wondering why things don't work. So if you follow it step by step from beginning to end, and it's hundreds of pages, guys. Feels like anyway. It's really not, but it's a lot of stuff to read and get through, but it's worth it. It's worth taking the time to get it done. Even if you're only going to play a couple, and I have hundreds of Future Pinball tables. Are those the best? Yeah, the Terry Res releases and updates are definitely the best, but there are some really good Future Pinball tables that are fun to play and well worth your time. So, VPX is good. Future Pinball is good. Got to take some time on that. All right, before we hit the number one table, I did just real quickly want to run through some shout outs here. Frisco Pinball has been doing some really cool stuff going on lately. You can follow him at Twitch over at Frisco Pinball. Astra and Icy, obviously a member of the VPW team, does some really great work, and has got some interesting streams that he will take you through while he's working on his Die Hard table, as well as play some of the other tables that VPW is coming, and you sometimes get some releases there. Herbski is actually not streaming as much recently, I've noticed, because he's working on a table release as well. And so if you join the Game Club Central Discord, you can actually get some details and some sneak peeks on his development and how he's working on a great table that excited to see come to the community. Pirate Pwn's Ninja does a Wednesday and a Saturday night virtual pinball show, so you can head over to Twitch TV and hang out with Pirate Pwn's Ninja and check out his videos. Jacob also is over at Twitch. He does some really good arcade and retro games as well. So head over and check out Jacob. Todd Russell, who's here in the chat, has got several different shows that he does, all very entertaining. On Saturdays, he does a developer's corner where he is sitting down and doing some artwork and custom things for members and followers of his community. So head over and check out Todd. But he's also got a show with Hollywood Polo, who is here as well. And they do a great roundtable discussion and a couple of topics, and they go through pretty much everything gaming and retro gaming related. So check them out on Tuesdays. Lynn in Denver always has got a fairly consistent schedule, doing a Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. I think it's Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. I may be wrong. I'm sorry, Lynn, that I didn't pay more attention or get that written down. But either way, check out Lynn in Denver over on Twitch TV. And then Nailbuster, Dave just had a birthday yesterday, so happy birthday, Dave. And Nailbuster obviously is the creator of the Pinup Popper front end that many of us use. And he does a great show on Fridays, very similar to this. So definitely want to make sure you head over to Twitch TV. And it's always a great show to hang out and watch Dave on Fridays. And we've got our guys over here on YouTube. We've got the Basement Corner Arcade that does a show on Tuesday evenings, both MCAP, Corner Arcade, and Rascal. Rascal also does a Saturday night, or hosts a Saturday night happy hour for the At Games Legends products. It's always great fun, and you always find me there on Saturdays playing. But I definitely go over and head over to Rascal's Basement Arcade and give him a subscribe. Mike Game Killer and Endless One Up, they are teaming up. They're a new team that has been trying to put together a schedule, but it looks like they've landed on Sunday afternoons here on the West Coast anyway, Sunday evenings for some of you on the East Coast. But it's a really great conversation. They have some really cool topics that they've been discussing lately, and they're really intelligent gentlemen. So head over to Mike Game Killer and give him a subscribe. Also check out Endless One Up for some of his original content where he's doing stuff on the Steam Deck. We've got our friends over at the Super Game Room dudes. Specifically, I've also separately subscribed to P-Dubs. Always has great reviews and interesting content. Detroit Love hasn't been pushing as much content out lately, but it's summertime and he generally takes that time off. Papa Brad's Gaming is a fantastic channel to check out. So if you have an opportunity to check out some of his reviews, his content on the iArcade, as well as real arcades, tours of arcades, and he always is a supportive member of the community. Glenn's Retro Show is also a fantastic show that many of you should check out. I believe they've moved it to Wednesday, but they do old school gaming. And they have all kinds of discussions and content about their products and new products and, just in general, a nice conversation. UAG and Mad Dad's Gaming are on Wednesday nights. Always a great conversation. Generally jump into a lot of the fighters. They're a very competitive group of guys, but it's fun to have them talk about arcade one-ups and many of the other arcade consoles that are out there. All right, guys, my number one video game pinball table. If you didn't see this coming, you don't know me very well. But this is definitely my favorite table to play. And, how can you have a video game table list that doesn't actually have a video game? So Baby Pac-Man is honestly a really great table. The design is nothing special, right? It's not great. It's got a few drop targets, a few loops, but the impact of your play on the table drastically impacts how well you can play on the table. You'll notice that these the table layout is missing something. That's right, it's missing power pellets, and without those power pellets, obviously you're running from ghosts, and these ghosts are above average when it comes to the AI. So this is not your daddy's Pac-Man game. This is really a very challenging Pac-Man game And the only way to make it easier to get through these levels is to play the table. And so, like I said, the table's got some drop targets, but it's also got a capture ball. And the capture ball up there is really critical. That's what gives you your power pellets. If you can get the capture ball to flip through the loop from just like that and just like that, you get power pellets awarded back to the video game. So once you are able to actually get it, and so you'll see I hit it twice, and this is really the power pellets there now. Because I hit that capture, I got 2 power pellets. And like I said, it becomes critical from a scoring standpoint because you can get really big points from eating the ghost monsters and do it. And now keep in mind, the power pellets are only there for 1 life. If you lose or you get killed prior to eating the power pellets are gone. So they are individual 1 ball only power pellets, or 1 life only power pellets. And like I said, this is definitely one of those ones. How do you control the game screen? Well, so Mark, this is my arcade control panel is controlling the game screen. The default for this is your arrows on your keyboard are what the actual control scheme is, but I have them mapped on this to my arcade control panel for on the Games Legends Pinball. And so, like I said, you just load it up, you get the video game, and then you got the pinball. You also have some bonus multipliers that can stack and really update as you finish the level. You get the level bonuses. But again, this is this is really one of my, I mean, it is. There's no doubt about it. This is my favorite table for a video game. And you'll see my high score there is 179,000. I think that's a pretty darn decent score. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. If you've got that control panel, it takes some practice. This is not one that you're going to jump in. In fact, you'll probably hate it for the first couple of playthroughs until you learn how to, maximize your power pellets and get everything going. But, all right. So, guys, as we kind of alluded to earlier on, that's it. That's all we've got. It has been a slow week, or was a slow week last week, and that's why I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a playlist update. If we run into those again, I've got 5 or 6 other playlists that I'd happily do some top 5s. I don't know if you guys liked it or not. It looks like we missed. Nobody got the trivia or got the answer to what was unique about that intermission clip. So we'll hold that prize over for another episode and maybe crank it up a notch with another prize and another opportunity to win. So I hope you guys all have a great week. We do look like we are in for for a big week this week of releases. We've already got 8 updates that were launched from JP Solis as of this morning. So I'm excited to talk about those and everything else that we should be looking forward to seeing over the next week. I hope you all have a great afternoon, and I hope you all enjoy your week, and we will catch you on the next one. Cheers.